Good evening. Welcome to World Now at 4. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. First, the headlines. Nigeria and South Africa strengthens defense partnership. Turkey mediates between Somalia and Ethiopia. Russian Ambassador Nebenzia warns against providing arms for Ukraine. And on sport, Tottenham signs Gray from Leeds for about £30 million. Now the news in detail. The Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, has called for reinforcement of ties between the Armed Forces of Nigeria and the South African National Defense Force towards addressing the multifaceted security challenges bedeviling the African continent. Musa made the call during an official visit to the Chief of South African National Defense Force, Rudzani Mafwanya, in Pretoria, South Africa. This was contained in a statement by the Acting Director of Defense Information, Tukur Gusau, on Tuesday in Abuja. The CDS described the meeting as a panacea to addressing the multifaceted challenges bedeviling the continent, adding that the need for cooperation and reinforcement of bilateral ties were also paramount. The Osun State Governor, Ademola Adeleke, has described the National Youth Service Corps as a call to repair, rebuild, and reconstruct a nation threatened by forces of division. Represented by Taslim Igbalaye, the Secretary to the State Government, during the swearing-in and opening ceremony of the 2024 Batch B Stream 1 Orientation Program at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp, a day on Tuesday, Governor Adeleke said obedience to clarion call is to contribute your quota to the integration, development, and unity of the nation. Adeleke added that it is a testament to their love and patriotic zeal for Nigeria. The Defense Headquarters has assured that the fate of the terrorists that perpetrate insecurity will be violent and short, as troops will stop at nothing to take them out of their battlefield. Edward Buba, the Director of Defense Media Operations, in a statement on Tuesday in Abuja, explained that the recent operations had decapitated the leadership of terrorists, depleted their resources, reduced their support base, and reduced their influence. He said terrorists embarked on these cowardly attacks against innocent citizens to project an image of strength to cover their weakness and decline. He stated that citizens must see through the smoke screen of the terrorists, adding that they must realize that the terrorist aims to counter the report of their weakness and create panic in the general population. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Turkey mediated talks between Somalia and Ethiopia on Monday to ease diplomatic tensions between the two African neighbors, according to the Turkish Foreign Ministry. The Foreign Minister of Ethiopia, Taye Atski, and his Somalia counterpart, Ahmed Mualim Fiki, had a candid and forward-looking exchange concerning their differences facilitated by Turkey's Foreign Minister, Hakan Fidan. The tensions arose after Ethiopia signed a memorandum of understanding with the breakaway region of Somalia in January, which Somalia condemned as a violation of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The memorandum aimed to grant Ethiopia access to the sea through Somaliland in exchange for Ethiopia recognizing Somaliland as an independent country. We move to other parts of the world after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Russian Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia said Russia is discouraging all countries to provide arms for Ukraine. The Russian ambassador spoke about the Security Council program of July as his country is deciding as the president of the council for the month.
Discouraging all countries that have not yet done so to to provide arms for Ukraine. The destiny of the weapons that will or will not be that will be eventually exported to Ukraine from wherever, the destiny is clear. They will be destroyed as the other weapons that the West and the US are supplying Ukraine with. But I presume that that the decision that might be taken on the issue may, of course, have certain political consequences. The developing world, the so-called developing world, or rather global South, is in particular Africa, is underrepresented in the Security Council, while the collective West, I would call it so, is overrepresented there, which does not reflect the current state of world geopolitics. So these processes are happening. They are painful for some of them, but they will continue to.
Israel released the director of Gaza's main hospital on Monday, 7 months after the military raided the facility over allegation it was being used as Hamas command center. The release of Mohammed Abu Selmia without charge or trial raised further questions about Israel's allegations regarding Shifa Hospital, which its forces have raided on 2 occasions since the start of its nearly 9-month war with Hamas. Abu Selmia said he and other prisoners had been tortured and held under harsh conditions, allegations that could not be independently confirmed, but match other accounts of Palestinian detainees who have been released back into Gaza. Let's have it known that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claimed Monday that he was close to eliminating Hamas, the rulers of the war-ravaged Gaza Strip. Netanyahu has repeatedly said that the fighting will only stop with the defeat of the resistance group. But he was contradicted by his army spokesman, who recently called the elimination Hamas an impossibility. Opposition to the war among the Israeli public has been growing. The army has only rescued a handful of hostages after 9 months of fighting amid mounting soldiers' casualties. 674 Israeli troops have been killed in Gaza since October, with over 2,000 injured. Despite declaring Hamas defeated in many areas, Israeli troops have been forced to return to face off with Hamas soldiers in the same neighborhoods previously declared captured from Hamas. Up next is business. Please stay with us.
This is Hills TV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hills TV, Polka.
Welcome back. On business, Kenya President William Ruto has said that the country will resort to more borrowing to plug a growing budget deficit after the rejection of the finance bill that would have increased tax revenue. Following deadly protests last week, Ruto declined to sign the bill and wrote to Parliament to withdraw it. In an interview, Ruto said that the failure of the bill had hurt government's effort to ease the country's debt burden. About 60% of Kenya's revenues go to servicing debt. He said East Africa's largest economy will seek 1 trillion shillings from lenders to pay for social services and other programs, noting that the new taxes would have raised about $2.7 billion. Let's have you know that after 4 days of festivities, the Banana Fair comes to an end in Angola. Local farmers, associations and cooperatives from several municipalities join industry representatives from other parts of the country to discuss market expansion and production strength. Maria Nelumba, governor of Bengu province, on the occasion of the closing of this 10th edition of the Banana Fair. This 10th edition exceeded the organizers' expectations in terms of attendance and earnings. Since President Joao Lourenço launched the challenge of diversifying the Angolan economy through agriculture, banana have become Angola's green diamond for diversifying the economy. Still to come, sports. Please stay with us. Welcome back. And on sport, Eritrean cyclist Biniam Jamai is looking forward to a good result at the 2024 Tour de France. The tour kicks off on June 29th and ends on July 21st. For the very first time, the race starts in Italy. This year, the Intermarch Wanty team will have 2 sprinters in their 8-man lineup. Jamai will be joined by Belgian Gaben.
For me, also for Gerben, because we can share the sprint and we can also help each other in the sprint stage, especially for Gerben. If it's really flat, I can also support him as a last man, so that means it's a good opportunity for both of us. So especially for me, this is my 2nd year, so I learned quite a lot from last year. It's pretty successful the last 3 years. Yeah, but still there is a lot of things to do for the local riders, because we still have a lot of difference between the pro rider and the local, but they are still young and they really need to improve a lot. So yeah, Tour de France is also a really big motivation for the local riders, because yeah, this is
the first African rider to win a World Tour Classic attended at a pre-tour media event for his team in Florence. The podium finisher, who attained a 125th place finish out of 150 cyclists last year, inspires fellow Eritreans. Because of the Olympics, the final stage will be held outside Paris for the first time since 1905. Wolves have completed the signing of Jürgen Strand Larsen from Celta Vigo. The striker has joined on an initial loan for €3 million, which will automatically become permanent until 2029 for €27 million, if certain clauses are triggered. The 24-year-old had a medical, having scored 16 goals for Celta and Norway last season, including 13 in the league, as Celta finished 14th in La Liga. Sporting director Matt Hobbs said everyone knows that bringing in the number 9 was really important to them this summer, and Jürgen was their number 1 target for the position, and they are really pleased to have him signed. Tottenham Hotspur have signed midfielder Archie Gray from Leeds United for about €30 million, with defender Joe Rodon moving in the opposite direction in a deal worth about €10 million. Gray has signed a contract until 2030 with Spurs, who Leeds said have met a release clause that was triggered by the club's failure to get promoted at the first attempt. The sale is believed to be enough to make the Elland Road club compliant with profit and sustainability rules after their defeat in the Championship playoff final by Southampton caused them promotion and forced them to sell players. Spurs have beaten Brentford to the signing of 18-year-old Gray, who played 52 matches in all competitions in the midfield and at right back for Leeds last season. And that's the sport news on World Now at 4. We move to the rest of the news after this break.
This is Hills TV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Welcome back. At least 27 people were crushed to death at a Hindu religious gathering in northern India, with many more injured and fears the toll could rise, government medics said on Tuesday. Deadly incidents are common at places of worship during major religious festivals in India, the biggest of which prompt millions of devotees to make pilgrimages to holy sites. A large crowd gathered near the city of Hathras, around 140 kilometers southeast of New Delhi, on Tuesday for a sermon by a religious preacher, Pradesh State Senior Medical Officer Ram Mohan Tiwari said they received 27 bodies so far. Witnesses and local media reports said the victims were crushed to death as the audience left the sermon. And that's World News Now at 4. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that Nigeria-South Africa strengthens defense partnership. Turkey mediates between Somalia and Ethiopia. Russian Ambassador Nebenzia warns against providing arms for Ukraine. And in sport, Tottenham signed Gray from Leeds for about 30 million euros. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV Abuja, Instagram at Hills TV Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hills TV. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. Thanks for watching.